Yeah, so there I was on Christmas morning, and I was experiencing this anger and rage, and it wasn't really that I was experiencing it. I was more of observing it. I was witnessing these thoughts coming into my mind, and I just thought, how beautiful and pure Luciano is, and how guiltless he is, and same with Grace, beautiful, pure, just so into her function, and they're both beautiful people, and I'm just like noticing all this rage and attack in my mind. Because I was on my own, I was forced to look within, and really what this was about was the healing of my mind, and it was about the seeming loneliness that I felt, and underneath all that it was about my apparent separation from God. That's what it was really about, and to heal that, and what a gift to have on Christmas Day. The healing of divine mind, far better than some material gift in a box with a ribbon on it. So I was experiencing such a profound Christmas, and there was no way that I was meant to be in contact with the world outside. That was the way it was set up. I even promised, well, I didn't promise actually, I promised nothing to anybody, but I was asked to call my 8-year-old daughter in the UK on Christmas Day, and I was aware of the time difference, and so at 1 o'clock an opportunity arose where I could actually go to this guy's cabin and use his phone, and I went over there and I tried to call several times, but the entire phone system was jammed, and this guy said to me, well, that's how it is at Christmas, like, people are all trying to connect with their family, so you'll just have to wait 3 or 4 hours. And I knew that in 3 or 4 hours it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning in the UK, and there'd be no time to speak, so I knew I was never meant to connect, so I let go of the idea and walked away. And turns out in a couple of days she actually rang me, and it was beautiful, because I didn't ring out of a sense of guilt. It was just beautiful. She never complained about anything. She never said she missed me or tried to pull that stuff. It was just so perfect and so beautiful, and I knew that it was all given. Really, I sat there in that cabin that day, and I smiled and said, I've had my Christmas dinner, I had it on Christmas Eve in that pub, and it was a beautiful Christmas dinner, and I haven't been denied anything. There's been no sacrifice, it's just all been beautiful. Truly, truly beautiful. And my entire experience in Canada was healing of the self, and by doing that, I was apparently teaching, which was all good. So it was just a great time, and I don't know whether it was Boxing Day or the day after that I joined with Grace, and it was beautiful because all these mighty companions, these Course in Miracle companions, had turned up at her place, and it was all spirit orchestrated, and so it was like a Course in Miracles retreat almost, and I met some beautiful friends there and connected with some beautiful people, and I also got to finally meet Eric and Armail. I've been friends with on Facebook for a while, and I actually got to meet them. They were over, so everything was just perfect and beautiful, and I'm so grateful to Grace for opening her heart and her home, and to Boris, her husband, and to her children, who were awesome too. They really stepped aside and let this happen, and They gave up their own personal space so that it could be overrun with people. And Addy was the computer technician, and he set up films for us, and it was just all beautiful. And I mean, and we laughed and giggled about the way these kids were freaked out by A Course in Miracles, and having A Course in Miracles parents. And Grace actually joked. She said, "Oh, it's all right having one or two of your friends in here, but having the entire cult here is another thing." And we were all laughing, at the label that we've been given as the cult, and these kids, and it was so funny. And actually, Grace said, "Yeah, we should set up a support group for kids of A Course in Miracle parents." And we were in stitches. It was so funny, and I shared that with my son, who's like, he'd join the group if ever there was one. So it was all so light-hearted and funny. It was all perfect and beautiful. And I got to meet Nikita, as a Russian friend. She's so beautiful, so profound, and she was a brilliant teacher. It's so simple and direct, and she helped me to see things really clearly and to have a shift in perception. I'd experienced a Course in Miracles teacher who had been teaching for, 25 years, and I was looking at him through the wrong eyes. I was looking at him through the ego lens, and it was like he didn't want me participating in his group. He didn't want me there, and then I considered, why does he not want me? And then he said, "You've had a profound experience, you should go on your way and do your own thing." And then I thought, am I persecuted because I had an experience that he didn't have, and does he feel jealousy and all this? And I felt really like I was unwanted and pushed out. But then there was just a shift in, I got to see this teacher through the eyes of love. I got to see him as he really was. And I saw that this guy was holding the space for a lot of people. And, if these guys wanted to be in his group for 25 years, that's absolutely fine. And if they needed another 25 years, that's absolutely fine. And this guy was holding a beautiful space for these people, and it was all so beautiful and perfect. And then I realized that his trust and his faith in me was so profound that he was saying, I wouldn't allow you to sit in this group for 25 years. He said, it was like he was saying, you're ready now. You're ready now, and you've got things to do. Get out in the world and get on with it. And really, it was just so beautiful that I saw it this way, and that really he was never pushing me away. He was supporting me. He was supporting me in what I had to do, and he was damn going to make sure that I did it. So I had this huge well of gratitude and love in my heart, and actually it's a huge shift in perception from ego to love, and it all looks pretty different. The same script, the same scenario, through the lens of love, was entirely different to what it was when I was looking through the ego lens. And so that was such a profound shift. And Nikita, thank you for that. And so it was, what it also taught me to do was, from that one experience, was whenever I was in that mind where I was thinking, why has this been done to me? Why is that happening like this? Whenever I was seeing it like that, that would be a barometer now for me to shift back into the right mind and to look at it through the lens of love. And I was like, wow, that was so profound. And this entire trip was about healing and release. Healing and release. It was just continually coming back to the recognition of who I really am. and that I am spirit, I'm eternal and changeless, that I am perfect and whole and complete already, and that there is nothing I really need to do. I don't have to qualify myself in any way. I don't have to justify anything. I don't have to attend any workshops. I don't have to pay to be something that I already am. It was just profound and just continuous. And, it wasn't only me, it was getting healing here. It's like everybody involved was receiving healing and some kind of release. And we shared that together, and it was quite profound. And I understood that I was right where I was meant to be, and there was a lot of profound shifts for everyone involved, lots of healing, lots of release, and I'm ever grateful for that. And I never knew while I was there. I never had any plans while I was there. I didn't know when I went to bed at night whether I'd sleep through, whether I'd wake up in the middle of the night, what I'd do when I woke up, where I'd go, who I'd see. I never had a clue. It was just totally observing it, totally letting it unwind, and it was all so beautiful. One particular day, after it snowed, I woke up it was about 4 or 5 a.m. It was pitch black, and it was really deep snow outside, and I was prompted to do a naked snow angel. And I was like, I don't want to upset anyone or offend anyone. And it was like, nobody's awake, go and have some fun. And so I literally went out naked into this snow and did a snow angel. And it was so, you could tell it was spirit being playful and joyful and just free and liberated. And while I was doing this snow angel, this naked snow angel, it was like all of a sudden I had a period of time which I was like 3 or 4 seconds ahead. So I knew what was going to unfold 3 or 4 seconds before it unfolded. And actually saw me throwing a snowball at Rick's cabin, and I was like, no, not at his window, it'll break. But as I was saying no, my hands were literally in the snow, forming the snowball, and it was like I wasn't going to be able to stop this. It was not me that was doing it. And then literally my hand just pulled back and went boom, and threw this snowball, and it hit his cabin door. And as it hit his cabin door, it's boom. This massive noise echoed through the air, and I ran into the ranch giggling, and and it was so funny. When I spoke to him later on that day, he said, "Yeah, that woke me up, that huge booming sound. I wondered what on earth it was." And he said, "I refused to be afraid," and he said, "and I knew nothing could hurt me, so," he said, "I went back to sleep." And it was all funny. It would have been more fun if he'd have got out of bed and we had a snowball fight. But yeah, it was all good. And following day, I found myself going on a walk, and Rick asked if he could join me, and we ended up hiking and walking the entire day, and we came to stop at a pub, the Cowshan Pay pub, and it was on the harbour, and it was absolutely beautiful. These mountains and the harbour in view, it was just beautiful. And I'd gone in there, and he offered to buy lunch, and a beautiful lunch, and a coffee liqueur, which was very, very nice. And I had this most divine cheesecake. It was called New York cheesecake, and it was divine. It was called Bumbleberry, and it was actually lavender in colour, and it had blueberries running through it. And oh man, I was in heaven. I was in heaven with over a cheesecake, I might add. And we were about to leave, and I said, prompted that we're to play pool. And there was 2 pool tables in this pub, and they had like a creamy beige baize, which I'd never seen that before because I'd only ever seen green ones. And I said to him, "No, I'm prompted that we're to play pool." And he said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, we're not to leave, we're to play pool." And I said, "I am a little bit rusty," I said, "because I haven't played for a while." But I said, "I believe I can whoop your ass." And he starts laughing. "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're on." So he sets up the table and puts all the balls into the triangle, and I select my cue, and I'm standing there waiting to play the game when he actually makes the break. And he pots his first ball, and then all the balls go down. He pots one after the other, after the other, after the other, until he's only got the pink and the black left. As soon as he pots the black, he's won. And he was looking all smug at me. And I said, "Hey, I'm a Course in Miracles student." And I said, "Don't discount the miracle here." And he looked at me and he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I need do nothing, and I can still beat your ass at this game." And he started smiling. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I need do nothing." I said, "I have not lifted my cue, yet I can still take this game from you." And he started laughing, and he was perfectly lined up to pop the pink. And he was just about to take his shot. And I said, "Actually," I said, "all you have to do is miss cue, pop the black instead of the pink, and the game's mine." And I said, "In fact, that is exactly how it's going to be." Then he smiled and went, "Yeah." And then he took his shot. Boom. He miscued and he potted the black. And I was like, "Yes! Yes! I need do nothing. I need do nothing." And I went, I literally did not lift my cue once. No, I didn't even enter into the game yet. I'd won. And right at that moment, this song came over the speakers. "This girl is on fire." And I said, "Yes, Jesus." I said, "Are you listening?" "This girl is on fire." And we were laughing. We were having so much fun. And it was like we were having a Course in Miracles version of pool. Literally, I needed to do nothing to whoop his ass. And it was so joyful and playful. It was all good fun. All good fun. So what happened after that? Oh, I had so many meetings with Grace, and there was a party on New Year's Eve, and everything was just beautiful. And my time there was spent healing. I had lots of holy encounters, and persons expressing interest in my book, which was nice. And yeah, and literally, I tell you, I went to the supermarket, this huge superstore, and to buy food with the intention of buying food, yet the guy who was hosting me was like, refused to take any money from me. Point blank, he said, "No, I wouldn't dream of it." And so, literally, I was literally taken care of in every way. Yet around this supermarket, I was noticing the price of food, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's so expensive in here." And I was told it's because it was an island and that there was extra fees levied for the ferrying of food. And so, but what I noticed was the dairy, like the milk and the cheese, was so overpriced. I really fancied cheese and all the different varieties, but there was no way I was going to have this guy buying cheese at that price. And so we didn't get the cheese, and I was guided that that was okay. And when we arrived at Grace's, she had this cheese board on display, and it had about 4 or 5 different varieties of luxury cheese. And I was like, "Thank you, Father." "Thank you, Grace." "Thank you, Boris." And it was like, everything was given. Every thought that I had that I would like something, it was given. And one particular day, Rick was going cleaning, and I was getting dropped off in the town, and he drove me towards this store to drop me off before he left, and I looked up and it said The Source, and this shop was called The Source. And I said, yeah, how beautiful, what a beautiful symbol. Rick's taking me back to The Source. And it was like, it was so funny. I don't know, it was an electrical store or something, but it was just so funny. Very symbolic of being taken back to the source. Yeah, literally everything was given, and many times, you know, I tried to pay for something or buy something, but it wasn't happening. And what I found was, you know, on leaving the island, I never spent a penny, and I literally was leaving with more than I came with. And that's the trust I have in God. And when He says follow, and I have the courage to just follow, not that there's any choice involved at all, it just happens that way, but you know, everything is added unto me, everything was given. Never spent a penny, and it was so beautiful. And then there was an idea of how I was getting back, and my mind was saying, you need to consider how you're going to get back, and like make a drama out of it, like how many coaches you're going to have to get, and how many ferries, and what times, and what prices, and draw money out, and do this, and schedule time in. And my spirit was saying, drop it, just drop it, you don't even need to go there. And then so I dropped it. I didn't even look. And then the day before I was due to leave the airport, it just fell in so sweetly, and Rick said, I'm going to take you all the way to the airport, it's my treat, and you don't have to do nothing. And then he just said, we're going to Duke Point in Swanson, and we're catching the 10:15 ferry, and you will arrive at the airport at 1 p.m. and you'll be well in time. And I thought, how easy it all was, how easy that it all just fell in that way. And when we arrived to the ferry, we were actually travelling on Coastal Inspiration. That was the ferry's name, and so I was quite happy with that. And then I was treated to this hot piping drink. It was called hot apple cider with cinnamon, and that was a beautiful drink that seemed to warm my cockles, and literally everything was perfect. And I did feel a connection with Rick, but it didn't feel like it was a romantic thing or anything. It wasn't like that. It was just like I'd known him all my life, and obviously in the storyline probably have. And it gets to the airport, and I was meant to check in online, because if you don't check in online, there's a €60 fee. Yeah, when I tried to check in online, the computer system was down. It said proceed to the airport. So when I get to the airport, and then there was a self-check-in monitor, and it wasn't working either. And so I had to join this huge queue to check in. And Rick had come in with me, and I said, really, you don't even have to park the car, just let me get out, and you certainly don't have to stand in this queue. And he said, no, I want to. And so we stood there in this queue, and I said, actually, I've noticed in all my travels that I've done, I've never had to queue like this before, and I just walk straight up and check in. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, well, this queue is so long. And then I said to him, well, it's all meant to be this way. It's all set up this way for a reason, and it's probably that I'm going to make a connection with someone somewhere. And he said, with who? For what? And I said, I don't know. It's not happened yet. I'll let you know when it unravels. And anyway, we get to the customs part where I have to take my boots and everything off to go through the customs check, and he wasn't allowed past that point. So we said our goodbyes, and you know, there was 6 or 7 lanes I could have chosen from, but this woman appeared. She directed me to go in lane 1, And I went into lane 1 and went through, and I was cleared. And as I sat on this chair to put my boots back on, the guy that was behind me had an awful lot of stuff, and right at that moment it came into my mind, who is this guy Rick, and how am I connected? How do I know him in the storyline? What is this story? And then this guy drops his bag, and this book shot out of his bag, and it flew across the floor, and it landed right at my feet. And the title was there for me to see, and it said, The Apostle John. And it was almost as if time had stood still, and that I was given the answer, that this guy in the storyline was the Apostle John. And I didn't know anything about this apostle, but it was just profound. And it was like the time that I was shown that I was Peter, the disciple, and I was like, what is this for? I don't know what anything is for, what it means. And I just had this profound experience on the plane, and it was like, I know what this is for. It's to pull me into the storyline and make me believe that illusions are real, and that's what it's for. And I was like, no, I don't buy any of this shit. It's all illusion. And that was that. But still, it was a profound experience. And yeah, I arrived back in the UK yesterday. I can't even think straight. And I don't like thinking at all. It's a pretty dangerous pastime. But yeah, my clock's all over the show, and hence I'm doing this Spreaker broadcasts at 0411. And I arrive home actually and discover that my 8-year-old, she appears to be not well. She appears to be ill. She appears to have this norovirus thing, and I suddenly have this profound feeling that, you know, this is just another gift to me. It's presenting for me to heal something in my mind relating to sickness and relating to the body and relating to separation, and that while I love her and extend to her and care for her, I know the truth that, you know, this is just an ego story that's a lie. It tells me that she's in pain and that she's suffering and that she's sick, and really, you know, in my mind, I know it's not true, and this has been given as a gift for me to heal the mind, and it's all given. Everything is for the healing of my mind, and in healing my mind, you know, I get to heal her too, and so it's just so beautiful. When I realised this evening that it was really a gift for me, and I went through that process, and I looked at sickness, and again, and sickness is a defence against the truth, and being asked to be shown the truth, and I was, and it was so beautiful. And she appears to settle down a lot, and she slept through the night, and so yeah, she actually woke up once, sat up bolt upright, and said, I wish to go to school. I want to go back to school. So I thought, wow, it's that profound. She's ready already. So yeah, this entire Canada trip was all about the healing of my mind, and everything was just a backdrop for that, a beautiful backdrop for that. And I've arrived home to potentially a homeless situation, which is another show on its own, and I will share that with you shortly. Yeah, but it's all miracles, you know. I expect nothing but miracles this year, because I'm entitled to miracles, and miracles is what I shall have. I am entitled to miracles. I am experiencing miracles. It's all beautiful. Yeah, thanks for listening, and Blessings of love to you guys.